Welcome to another Steve's 15 Minutes of Fame video, where I set the timer and talk about a specific subject for 15 minutes and 15 minutes only. And I had feedback on the first video I did, which ended up being about control, and topics that people wanted me to talk about were love, time, non-duality. Blimey. So, like all good listeners, I responded, and I'm going to talk about vulnerability, because that's what I want to talk about. I will do those other subjects another time, but vulnerability. I have a lot to say about vulnerability. Where to begin? I have a quote. I'm going to share a quote on vulnerability, but it's over there, so not quite sure I'm going to do that. Basically, I think I do vulnerability well. I do these videos. I'm very open in these videos. I'm very open in real life. Kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, mostly in a good way, sometimes not. I think I do vulnerability well, which is always a bad sign. Whenever you think you do something well, it means that you've stopped looking in that part of your life to improve or to change. So whilst I do vulnerability well, I also do it very badly. I do it very badly too. And this was highlighted to me when I had a coaching conversation with Catherine, who's a fellow Supercoach Academy student, a week ago. I volunteered my services as a client because she had yet to do any coaching. She's not sure if she wants to be a coach, and she hadn't done any coaching. So I thought, why don't you coach me? I offered my services as a client. Now, this seems a very generous thing of me to do, except in my head, I don't need to be coached. So I'm doing you a favour, Catherine. I'm doing you a favour. So that's how I kind of entered, that's the spirit I entered this sort of coaching session. And so she starts coaching me about the subject of what should I do? What should Steve do with his life? I'm going to call it treading water, or waiting, or just not doing very much at the moment, because the impulse to do something to take me in a specific direction just hasn't occurred to me, and that seems fine for me, with my new understanding of how the world works, how my life works, the inside-out understanding of the human experience. I want to work from inspiration, a place of being inspired, so that when I feel inspired to do something, I just do it. I don't need goals, I don't need motivation, I'm just doing it. If it works out, great. If it doesn't work out, great. It's great. I like doing life like that, and that's what I'm doing. It just so happens that I'm not doing very much. Recording some videos, updating a few blog posts, sharing my experiences on a few Facebook groups and on Facebook, sending the odd tweet. But otherwise, living the life of Riley, enjoying the sun, not earning very much money. Now, I'm okay with that. Some of the people in my life are less okay with it. They think I should be focused on earning more money. And sometimes I believe that too, and I think, really, I'm just wasting my life here. Thus, that was the energy I went into my coaching session with Catherine last week. And so she asked me various questions. Yeah, you sure you're not just sort of, it's all right waiting to be inspired, but maybe you need to do something. Maybe inspiration needs to catch you working, so to speak. And I went, I don't think so. And then Catherine would suggest something else. Something else would come from her wisdom, and I go, I don't think so. And then something else would occur, and she went, I don't think so. And I was kind of like, I know it all. No, I don't think so, Catherine. I think I know better than you, Catherine. And Catherine, like the good listener she is, and the good coach she is, she started to get frustrated. And so she told me, not too bluntly, but still, she told me that I don't do vulnerability very well. And to my credit, I at least was open to the possibility that I might not have been very vulnerable in that moment. I might not have been very vulnerable listening to her. And I think it's kind of true. I seem to sort of close down to some learning opportunities, close down to life in some way. So I am open to life. But again, I'm open, therefore I'm always open. It's not true. I'm open here, might not be open there. So Catherine highlighted this to me, and it got me thinking about vulnerability, about where I lack vulnerability. Maybe my lack of vulnerability is what's stopping me from doing something right now. Maybe it's easy just to sit in the garden and enjoy the sunshine. It's pretty nice, especially when you live in England. Maybe Catherine was right. So I'm going to do this video for 15 minutes. I'm going to have a coaching session with Catherine at 12 o'clock in a couple of hours about vulnerability. This time I will be going not to do her a favour, but for her to coach me, to listen to me about vulnerability and where I might lack vulnerability and why I might lack it. And I'm curious to see what comes from this conversation with Catherine, especially when I will not be doing her a favour. When she will be coach, I'll be client. She will listen, I will listen, and we'll see what comes from that space. So I'm going to do this video, part one, and then after I've been coached by Catherine, I'm going to do another video, part two, and I'll share what comes from that space. As I said, I do vulnerability well. And what I mean by that is, if something comes, I share it. Sometimes it might not be what the other person wants to hear. Sometimes it is what they want to hear. But I still share it. I don't hide. I don't guard it. I don't say, oh, well, I'll give that piece of information at a good time, a time that works best for me. I kind of let it come through me. I don't believe it's mine. So I'm sharing it. It's not, I might share this, you are very beautiful. You, I love what you're wearing. I love how you do vulnerability so well. I love how you engage those people. I love how you share yourself so well. I love how you do you. I love how you make me feel. I feel insecure in your company. These are some of the things I've shared over the years. I just, especially in my newsletter and on my Self-Help Collective website and on smnash.com, I share where I am. I just share where I am. So it's sort of like being aware of where you are, aware of yourself in the present moment, and then sharing it, not guarding it. So it's like saying, this is who I am. 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 It's kind of doing that, always doing that. So like the present moment is now, and now, and now, and now. Vulnerability is saying, here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am. And sometimes this works. Sometimes it really helps you connect with somebody. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you don't want to do that. Sometimes if you tell somebody you're feeling insecure, they don't really know what to do with that, because it kind of gives them power, makes you look weak, maybe even reminds them of their insecurity. I do that well. I do that well. so well that I think I do vulnerability well. And I obviously don't. Always. I don't show up enough. I don't. In the world of form, in the world of getting things done, achieving stuff, playing to play, playing to win, I don't do that much. And some of that must come from my lack of not wanting to fail or not wanting to follow my ass, look stupid, be less than somebody else. So, I'm going to... I'm going to carry on recording the video. I'm going to get the quote. Not that I need a quote, but I got these two quotes, so let's see which one shall I do. I'll do the shorter one. I understand now that the vulnerability I've always felt is the greatest strength a person can have. And I really do hope you can hear this, because I'm sure you can. You can't experience life without feeling life. What I've learned is that being vulnerable to somebody you love is not a weakness, it's a strength. Elizabeth Shue. I understand now that the vulnerability I've always felt is the greatest strength a person can have. You can't experience life without feeling life. You can't experience life without feeling life. You can't experience a person without feeling them. You can't experience yourself without feeling yourself. What I've learned is that being vulnerable to somebody you love is not a weakness, it's a strength. Elizabeth Shue. Some part of that I do. I feel people, I share who I am. Often to my detriment. I had a date with this woman, Polish woman living in Scotland. And we met on internet dating, and she was very excited, and I was excited, but she was very excited, and I, rightly or wrongly, kind of said, you know, let's not calm down a bit. We haven't even met each other. I don't really normally fancy blonde women. She was beautiful, but I prefer short, dark-haired women. But I still found her attractive. But this kind of was like throwing water over her face, and it totally put a huge dampener on the thing. And she stopped being interested, just like that. So I didn't have to do that. I could have just gone with the momentum of it. Totally ruined any possibility I had for us to get to know each other. And whether I was wise or not to do that, I don't know. But I was vulnerable. I shared my experience of her, what was going on, and it didn't work. It didn't work. I'm not saying I might not have been vulnerable. Maybe I was trying to control the interaction. I don't know. But she was kind of it felt like she was getting carried away with. And I thought, it's not. It's not. And then I just said, this is what I find you attractive. But totally blew it. Totally blew it. And I have to say, I was not impressed with her response. And I kind of thought, oh, do I really need to keep doing this stuff? Anyway, maybe we just weren't suited. I'm going to carry on. You know, as I said, it's not always about getting what you want. It's about kind of showing up. And it occurred to me to say I did. Didn't work for me in terms of our relationship. It never got off the ground. But that's what happened. So now, this 15 minutes thing is weird because I'm waiting for the clock to buzz. I don't know how long I've got to talk. I'll start this great story that takes 5 minutes and we'll get halfway through. And you won't hear it. I don't know what's happening. When are you going to go off, clock? When are you going to go off? So what will we talk about, me and Catherine? I guess I'll talk about relationships, talk about my family, talk about the most important thing when I was growing up of not wanting to look foolish. So I've managed to cultivate this very, very, very cool veneer from that place. Really, it's over. Bye. Please. Oh, by the way, please tell me what other subject you'd like me to talk about wherever you see this video. Thank you. Bye.